So, how long has it been since we made one of these videos?
A year ago.
A year? Holy smokes! Well, no time like the present. Hello everybody! And welcome to this long overdue episode of Bionicle Discussions. My name is BioGhost1000. And I'm Jonak, ready to... It's been so long I can't come out with a good zinger. Well, at least one good thing came from this hiatus.
Pardon?
Okay, two things. You want to introduce yourself?
Of course. I am Delphi. Greetings and salutations.
Wow! Can that introduction be any more lifeless?
You know that I am an artificial life form.
Be nice, you two. Anyway, as part of the new format I've created for this channel, Delphi will be joining us for the time being. Way to ruin the dynamic we had, Ghost. What dynamic? Exactly!
Regardless, I am happy to be of assistance.
Kiss ass! Let's focus here. Today's episode is rather bittersweet. Today, we'll be talking about the cancellation of G2 Bionicle, as well as the potential reasoning behind it. Nice segue! I think I got whiplash. I just got back. Cut me some slack. I did not intend for that to rhyme. Well, with that awkwardness out of the way, let's get started. Someone's rusty! Now, it's pretty common knowledge at this point, but for those who don't know, LEGO released an article that officially cancels Bionicle G2. A link in the description will be available if any of you are interested. Really? This early in the discussion?
Constantly pointing out his lack of practice will only hinder his efforts.
So is telling me what will hinder me, Delphi.
Apologies.
For me personally, this news isn't all too surprising. Despite my initial excitement for G2 Bionicle, once it was out, my expectations were rather low. At best, I expected it to last around 3 years. And in fact, that was how long it was planned to last. Don't get me wrong though, the sets were awesome. A great blend of articulation and function. All of them were well thought out, for the most part. While they all had their flaws, looking at you, Skull Scorpio, these hardly detracted from their appeal. However, I only bought a few of these sets, so take my praise of them with a grain of salt. So, if these sets were so phenomenal, why was the line cancelled in the first place? We're getting to that.
While I do not have access to LEGO's financial records, it is safe to assume that the line was not performing at their expectations.
In other words, Bionicle wasn't making enough money, money, money! Yes, exactly. Why else would LEGO cancel it a year ahead of schedule? Yet, based on the franchise's popularity back in 2010, what would keep this line from selling?
There are many variables to that question.
True, and if we were to go through each one in detail, this video would take hours. Instead, I'll focus on the ones that they have direct influence on. Its marketing and its story. First, the marketing. If I could describe it in one word, it would be non-existent. And if I could describe it, I'd say lazy as fuck. Watch it, Jarduck. To be fair though, LEGO might not have had as much of a marketing budget for G2. However, with their contests for the solid gold masks, I'm not entirely convinced that this was the case.
poor management of funds seems more likely.
Regardless, the marketing wasn't as prominent as it was back in Bionicle's heyday. When it first came out, there was plenty of media to consume. From character commercials for each of the Torah, to comics, to the Matanui online game and the Tale of the Torah for the Game Boy, Bionicle was almost everywhere you looked. And that's not including the promotional material. Kumo rocks, anyone? Hey!
Video first, music playing later.
Killjoy. There's more than just quantity, though. As Sony learned the hard way. Anyway, we got to see more than just the main story plot. We got glimpses of the deeper lore of this universe, such as the Red Star and the Unbreakable Underground Disc, to name a few. We also got to see some pretty unique locations, the most iconic of which being the island of Matanui. Even though the story itself was a simple scavenger hunt at its beginning, there was a plethora of stuff for us fans to get attached to, and as the line continued, it grew more layered. Careful, you're starting to gush.
There will be a time to analyze the story of Generation 1 in more detail. This is not the time.
Right. Sorry. The same can't be said for G2. Many episodes are only a minute long, to the character animations, a phone app, and one generic commercial was all that we got when it started out. Not enough to entice new fans. If I'm honest though, the character animations were okay. They were reminiscent of the 2001 animation style. With some tweaking, these could have been used as commercials for the line. Unfortunately, these along with the mini episodes could only be found on the official Bionicle website, which no new fan would visit unless they saw the commercial or heard about it from older fans.
Which would be rather difficult considering the low frequency of airtime the commercial had gotten and the varied stances of said older fans.
Plus, any promotional material and concept art was held at sites like Bionicle's Facebook page, sites that only previous fans would care about, and that was the main crux of the issue. G2 was marketed toward us previous fans. And poorly at that. Now, it is important to entice your previous fans, as they spread the word on your IP the fastest. But making it so that the only way a new fan could get introduced to that IP is through previous fans is completely moronic and downright lazy.
Especially if there were those that dismissed and scrutinized that product due to its appearance.
Exactly! And with a 5-year hiatus, there was no way Bionicle G2 would have gotten the traction it needed. Without traction, this franchise withered and died. Again, this comes down to poor management. When looking at the concept art, watching design videos, and taking to what I said earlier about the sets into account, you can see where the focus was.
Sir, I am detecting higher stress patterns in your voice.
Check out these awesome toys with dual action weapons, stylized masks, and arms for in action! What are their personalities? Well, get to that later. These golden masks are amazing. They're made of real gold, and they can be yours if you win our competitions. What do they do? Well, they allow our heroes to access their elemental powers. Look at their fierce foes. With gear action attacks, they're bound to give our heroes a challenge. Ow? They're horde enemies controlled by Makula. Yeah, that's it. Dramatization aside, the Bionicle team for G2 focused on the product with no regard for how to market it. Don't get me wrong, the sets were great, but the story was severely underwhelming and generic. That's putting it mildly. They just took the skeleton from the first 2 years of G1 and left it as such. They did add their own elements to it here and there, but yeah, that's how it appears to be. The mini episodes, again, were too short to be compelling. The personalities of each toy were fine, but not fully fleshed out. The books were bland and unengaging, and the Netflix series was badly paced, especially the last 2 episodes. Bottom line, the story sucked balls! I was gonna say unoriginal and played out, but I guess that's another way to look at it. Now, some of these changes I can understand. Say what? Simplifying the terminology of the lore so fans can easily grasp it. Calling the village elders protectors and the Torah masters is fine in my opinion. The labels are vague enough to put your own spin on it, yet easily recognizable. However, there's a difference between simplifying your content and dumbing it down. Bionicle G2's story and lore is in the latter category. There are only 7 characters that I attached to throughout G2's run, and 6 of those were primarily due to my previous exposure to them back in G1.
Not surprising, really. The protectors themselves were not even named until after the books were released.
And even then, they were nothing more than travel guides for the Torah, or masters as they were called. And even that name didn't stick!
Also, the creatures were little more than props for the Toa, and the villagers were delegated to the background.
Thank you. Now, we could go into more detail, but I don't want to keep this at a reasonable length. Here's the worst part though. All that work on set designs for 2017 will go to waste because they screwed up on their story and marketing. Now, it's not like I don't appreciate LEGO for bringing back Bionicle. I do appreciate them for doing so. It's just that it didn't leave as much of an impact. Maybe it's just me getting older.
Your previous episodes on G2 disproved this statement.
Okay, maybe not. But when I found out that it would be cancelled this year, I was apathetic. And it upsets me that I was apathetic. Bionicle G2 could have been just as great, if not better, than G1. Yet what we got was a cool product in an unappealing wrapper. Exactly. The marketing was passive, the story was unengaging, and the management was lackluster. Now, there are other factors that led to Bionicle G2's failure, but these were the most significant ones that LEGO had a direct impact on. Fortunately, LEGO has not ruled out the possibility of Bionicle's return. Bionicle could come back in the future, and if it does, hopefully, LEGO would have learned from their blunders. With that said, I will bring this video to a close and ask, how do you feel about Bionicle G2's cancellation? Let me know in the comments. Also, I recommend checking out Nick on Aquamagna's video on the subject. We generally have similar thoughts on the issue, and his video is probably more insightful. I will see you all next time, and remember to explore those horizons. This is gonna take some getting used to.